Hey guys, what's up? So we've got a brand new card coming into the Charmers structure deck, and it's supposed to be basically a search for the deck. It's called Masters of the Spiritual Arts, and it's a quick play spell card. You can only activate this card name once per turn. Discard one card, take two cards from with different names from your deck that each meet at least one of the criteria listed below, add one to your hand, and set the other one to your field. They must be either a charmer monster, a familiar possessed monster, or a possessed spell or trap card. Now, this card is actually quite decent for what it does. Yes, it does require you to have a discard, so you do need to have a hand when using it. If you're just looking from plus and minuses, it's neutral. In terms of card advantage, you're not losing anything, you're not gaining anything from that point of view. However, obviously with the discard, depending on what you discard, that could have an effect if you splash certain things in. The other thing is as well, actually being able to select what you use adds the consistency of the deck. This is a massive problem with the archetype as it is. You've got all these different attribute monsters who are able to kind of snatch deal with their opponent's monsters if they're of the same attribute. The stronger monsters just do piercing damage when they're summoned, including when they're summoned from the deck. There isn't that much consistency. Of course, the mid forms with the 800 attack, like a Raging Araya, Blazing Heater. What they do is if you tribute a monster of their attribute, they just let you special summon a monster of the same attribute as that monster. These are all issues to do with them. However, this kind of fixes some of that problem. Take this for an example. Say your opponent has, I don't know, earth monsters on the field. They just happen to all be earth monsters for whatever reason. And you don't have Ursa, the earth charmer, on your field. However, you do have a way of protecting yourself, for example, Waboku. What is the best thing you could do having this card set? You activate it, discard one card, then you set your Ursa to the field. Of course, they can actually stop attacking if they wish, or they might get to the plan of thinking, oh, I can just directly attack into that monster, and because if it's destroyed, you no longer have control of that opponent's monster, and just kind of hit you for game. If you pair this with things like Waboku, Threatening Roar even, just something that prevents the Charmer's destruction, you would be able to steal the most powerful monster, and likelihood is your opponent has used a lot of resources to bring that card out. Another situation could be as well, you could, alongside that situation, you would be able to add a card to your hand, so something that could help you a bit later on. Unpossessed, for example, is a great card to pair with it, because the Charmer monsters are protected from battle destruction. That's another way of kind of interacting. Another way I could see of it is obviously... Wake up. Another example of how to use this card is, say for example, you might want to have, if your opponent has multiple attributes on their field, you might want to actually set one of those monsters and then have the other one in your hand, of which you can trigger later on if you have Unpossessed on your field already activated. I think this is a good card for what it does, but the issue still remains that the cards themselves are so outdated, the effects are so old, they need to be updated just to give them a little bit more power. I know they have the Link versions of themselves, but the way I see that is it doesn't really interact that well with the deck, and unless they get some real support, some attack boosting support, some attribute manipulation, something which means that you don't have to rely so much on the specific type of spellcaster you have, I don't see it becoming any better. What do you guys think of this card? Do you think it fixes anything? Are you a bit disappointed? Or do you like actually that it supports 3 different aspects of the Charmer archetype? Whatever you think, leave your comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe.